Remember when we were little and we were given handouts for our summer reading list to enter the new grade, and we chatted to our friends to pick out which books we would pick off the list in the library. We'd spend days at the beach, at the pool, at the park, or by the fire, often getting through more than what was actually required and very, very carefully crossing each book off of the list before returning them to the library to get new ones. I want to bring back some of that literary joy this summer. I'm working part-time and traveling, so it's literally the perfect time to soak up some sun and enjoy a really good book. Hello and happy Saturday, and I'm sorry for the camera quality because I left my camera at home. So the first book that I'm trying to get through is The 100 Years War of Palestine. I started this so long ago, so it's about time that I finish it. I struggle sometimes with nonfiction books. Depending on how they're written or how dense they are, it might take me a while to get through them. There's some nonfiction books that I've whipped right through, really love. I'll put them here. And this one has been really interesting and eye-opening. I've always been, ever since the war started, I've been aware of the Israel-Palestine conflict. I was not aware of it prior, but I didn't know the history behind it, except for the fact that Israel is like a really new country, like younger than the United States. What I do like about this book so far is that the author is personally affected. Like, he is from Palestine, his family is from Palestine, so he's given like first-hand accounts from either relatives or himself, which I find very interesting. Also, in the beginning, it talks a decent amount about the the commonality between Ireland and Palestine. It's very interesting as an Irish person. It's just taken me a while to get through it, and I'm like, I just need to dedicate time to get through this and to get through my other book, Anxious People. I don't know how likely it is that I'm going to be able to finish 2 books this week, although technically I'm halfway through both of those books. But I'm such a slow reader. I've been reading for so long. I don't even know how long I've been reading, but I think I'm only like 20 pages in. I'm gonna go get lunch and then I'll continue to read wherever I eat lunch. So let's go. I think I read like 40 pages. Like I said, I'm a slow reader, but I'm proud of the progress. And I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna crochet a little bit. I'm crocheting a little bookmark. I also made a pattern for this, a YouTube video pattern for this, so feel free to check it out because I couldn't find any free patterns online, so I worked with my mom to create one. Good morning. It is a beautiful Sunday to read on the beach. I just biked about 3.5 miles. I found this really secluded beach that I'm going to park my booty on and read. I might be getting ahead of myself, but I might be able to finish The 100 Years War on Palestine. I basically spent all day yesterday reading, and I'm planning on doing the same. I'm giving myself 0 distractions. The only focus is reading. Honestly, I think it's just like making an active decision, like, oh, I'm gonna read instead of doing this other hobby or doom scrolling or something. That's kind of what it comes down to. Both me and my iPad were overheating at the beach, and there's hardly any shade in this town. So I biked to go get some gelato to cool me down. Very refreshing. I got mojito and frutas de bosque. And now we're gonna read in this shitty little spot that I found. The 100 Years War on Palestine is finished. Like I said, this book was very eye-opening and frustrating. Frustrating because the issue still prevails. Israel still violates ceasefire agreements, still violates human rights on a regular basis. As I've learned, it has done for many years in the name of protecting itself, despite being one of the largest superpowers in that region. and consistently engrossing on other countries and other people's rights. This was a very thought-provoking book, a very dense and heavy book, but I'm really glad that I read it, and I have a lot more context to this unfortunate war and conflict that's been going on for so long. Today we are reading Anxious People. I think I'm like halfway done. This was a recommendation from a friend of mine. Shout out Catherine. It's kind of all around this one event of like a hostage robbery situation. I like the writing style because it keeps it moving and it keeps it interesting, and it's just different from most other books that I've read. But some of the characters I find so infuriating. The way that some of these characters interact with the police and with each other and the police officers too, everyone just seems really dumb and rude, and it's really infuriating. I've had to put the book down quite a few times because I just couldn't deal with the way that the characters were talking to one another. In my head, I was like, I don't think that people actually talk like this to each other. But then again, I've never had to interrogate people or be interrogated after a traumatic event, so you never know. Found a nice shady spot by the water, kind of private too, and I'm gonna read and decompress because I've been really sad and anxious today, to be honest. But I did get through a lot of this book. Honestly, given the title, Anxious People, I think the book is somewhat passing anxiety onto me. Some of the topics and themes are making me really sad. I'm gonna be excited to move on to hopefully some more lighthearted books after this. Anxious People is also done. We can cross that off our list. I enjoyed the ending of this book. Feels like it was wrapped in a neat little bow. I do feel as though I was more anxious while reading this book, partly because I was about to get my period and I just, messes with my emotions. But also, as the title implies, there's a lot of anxious people, a lot of anxiety in this book, and it was like radiating off the page and into my skin. So I was actually quite happy to be done with it. I'm happy with the ending because I feel as though it delivered an overall good message about humans, our ability to connect with each other, to connect with ourselves, to change each other, to change ourselves. When I dedicated an entire beach day to this, I actually flew right through it and I finished it very, very quickly. Genuinely forgot how easy it is to finish a book when you are just relaxing on the beach. If you feel like keeping up with my reading journey and my goals this year, you can follow me on Goodreads. I'll have it linked in the description and on the video. Moving on to hopefully more uplifting and easygoing reads for the summer, I have World Travel by Anthony Bourdain and Wedding People by Alison Espach. World Travel feels like such a good fit for where I am right now, also considering the fact that I'm a huge foodie, as Anthony Bourdain was, even though he hated vegetarians. I'd love to experience the world through a foodie's eyes, and maybe Bourdain can help me bring back some of the excitement that I feel like I've been lacking this week. I'm about like 25% of the way through World Travel. I've been listening to it while I crochet. I really like the way that Bourdain talked about travel, specifically to Paris, because I feel like I just relate to that type of travel in general. The problem with some trips is that you plan them too much. And when you plan them too much, you plan all these things to see, and then you spend so much time waiting in lines when some of the beauty of going on a trip is just walking around and happening upon things. And like actually being able to experience things, not just going to see things that everybody says that you absolutely have to see. That's just something that I also agree with when it comes to travel, not just in Paris, but like everywhere. Wedding People is a recent rec from my cousin, which I think I'm going to like very, very much. It's about a woman who befriends a bride during her bridal weekend and their unexpected relationship and plans that unfold from that. I'd love to hear what you're reading, and if you have any recommendations, let me know. I'd love making my TBR incredibly, incredibly long. And if you're curious, I'm trying to read 15 books this year. Last year my goal was 20, which was very ambitious, and I got through 12. I think I'm going to be able to get through 15 no problem, to be honest. Thank you so much for watching. Keep reading. Knowledge is power. And I'll see you in the next one from God knows where.